All right. Good morning, guys. This is your lesson that's going to be happening on Monday. I will be gone that day. Well, actually, be coming back. I'm taking a little family. So I had the sub in, but now I guess don't need the substitute at all now. So kind of a semi-little bonus, I guess, in all this. But in the end, got to do stuff for you guys on here. So I want to make sure you guys are set up today for the math portion right now. I've got a couple parts on here. I'm going to do it all in one video. During times, I'll tell you you can pause on a moment so that way you can do some of the work on here. If you get a little lag behind or anything, hit that pause button so that way you can play catch up on there. If you go really fast on things, obviously you don't need to pause as much, but if you're working with a parent or all by yourself on here, do try to make sure you do that pause button feature on there just so you can do the work on there, check your steps, make sure you're good, okay? I believe in you. Some of you probably won't hit pause, but I believe some of you will, okay? Prove me wrong. Leave a comment if you did. Yeah, like and subscribe. Oh yeah, I was supposed to say that. My son told me. All right, what we have going on first is what we're going to be doing is out of the student book today. So nothing out of the math journal or anything like that. What we're going to be is on a couple pages in here. I'm going to do our new lesson for the day. Should be kind of a semi-review. And then we're going to hit on the lesson from last time where we talked about sharing money. So let's go ahead and jump right into things. Let's go to page 74. Oh, let me get that glare out. I don't like that. Let me get that glare gone. Yep, there it is. Okay. A little bit darker in here on things, but you guys can see me pretty good here. I'll turn this light on there. There we go. That looks a little bit nicer. Okay. So on page 74, we're going to be... Let me adjust a little bit. Okay. It is adding, subtracting decimals. Okay, so this is going to be very similar to your guys' homework that you're going to have on Tuesday. Okay. On Tuesday, it's going to look very similar for this one. I'll go over that page on that day when I get back. But this will look very similar to what you guys are going to have on. Okay, we're going to start on this side. Notice we have the legend up here. It says we've got a week 1, a week 2. I know some different colors on this bar graph. Okay, looks like I have money. And it looks like I got some people's names here at the bottom. Sarah, Johnny, and Richard. Okay, let's take a look at our instructions here first. The Ramirez kids earn money each week for the chores they complete around the house. They made a bar graph showing how much they earned in the first 2 weeks of the year. Use the bar graph or use the graph to answer the questions below. Show all of your work. Okay, so what I'm going to do for here is go through each problem. Give you a moment to solve, how you hit the pause button right there. I'm just going to keep rambling on. So I'll just go ahead and say hit the pause for certain parts right there, okay? So I'm going to do the first one with you right now to get the feel of things. So let's look at the information for Sarah's earnings, okay? So this is just for Sarah. I notice Sarah is down here, very my bottom left corner one, okay? It's right down there. All right. So let's go ahead. How much did Sarah earn in week 1? I notice my key up here. I notice I got week 1 in the lighter gray and week 2 in the darker gray. This one is week 1. I'm going to underline that, and I know I'm going to underline Sarah because that's who I'm working for on this one. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to look and see. Oh, it goes from $1 to $2. Okay. My bar landed somewhere right here. So before you jump your conclusions and know what this bar landed on, we need to figure out what it kind of did land on. Did it jump 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little hops right there? Okay, so it could be $1.10. Okay, let's double check on that one. So that's $1.10. That's $1.20. That's $1.30. That's $1.40. That's $1.50. No, that doesn't work. Okay, so it can't be that $1.10. I know that's the first line on there, or $1.01. That makes no sense right here. So maybe the portions, the increments are a little bit bigger. So let's try going up to 20 cents and see if that works. 20 or 25 right here. Let's go with the 20. $1, $1.20, $1.40, $1.60, $1.80, $2. All right. I now know that these increments are going up in 20 cents. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and write my little note right here saying $1.20 right there. Just a little hint. I think it would be good for us on there. All right. Let's go ahead. How much did Sarah earn in week 1? We learned down here that she earned $1.20. Okay. She made a lot of money from her parents. She didn't work that hard. One of the two. Okay. All right. Go ahead on B now. Go ahead and figure out how much Sarah made in week 2. Okay. On week 2, go ahead and figure out what she did right there. Go ahead and hit that pause button. Go ahead and figure that out real quick. Okay. So let's go ahead on week 2. Sarah, I notice she has right down here. Sorry, I keep having to move my paper because it's so down below here. Okay, Sarah went from $1, $2, $3, not yet in the 4. We know they're counting in 20 cents. We're at $3 here. $3.20, $3.40, $3.60. Okay. Okay, again, writing that on the bar will probably save us a lot of pain and headache later on, I'm guessing. Trust me, this is the way. Okay, so how much did Sarah earn in week 2? She earned $3.60. Okay, let's take a look at C now. How much more did Sarah earn in week 2 than in week 1? Okay, so I'm not going to pause on this one because I'm going to point out something here. It's the how much more portion. Okay, how much more is wanting us to do subtraction on here. And I want to know the difference between week 2 and week 1. Well, I want to know first which one's the bigger number. Is $3.60 more and $1.20 more? $3.60 is more, so I'm going to set that on top. Okay. Now it's adding and subtracting with decimals. One thing that we need to remember when we add and subtract with decimals is we have to line up the decimals in order. It doesn't matter if it's money or anything. If it's got a decimal in there and the other problem or other number has a decimal, we have to line them up no matter what. So let's go ahead and line up the $1.20 right underneath. It's subtraction. Okay. Let's go ahead and solve just like we know. If you want to do rounding, anything like that, give and take, you can. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and straight stack and solve. Okay. Zeros taken away. 0 there. 6 take away 2. I've got 4. And then, you don't have to do the decimals yet. You could save that for last, but some of us should probably get that handled first. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my decimal down right now so I don't have to worry about it. And then 3 take away 1 is going to be 2. Okay? And then $sign, don't forget our labels. Okay, so it seems like Sarah made $2.40 more than what she did last time, or week 1. Okay, let's go ahead. Next one, number 2. How much more did Johnny earn in week 2 than week 1? Okay, so and take here. How much more did Johnny earn in week 2 than week 1? Find Johnny down here at the bottom. The first thing you have to do is figure out how much they got, or how much Johnny got in those weeks. So go ahead and count real quick, and then figure out what they're landed on. And it does say how much more, so you probably want to do a subtraction problem again. So first step, figure out how much he made in those weeks. Second, go ahead and solve. Go ahead and pause the button now and see what you get. Okay, go ahead and come back. We have Johnny here. I noticed he had a $1.40. Okay, because I know it was just a little bit higher than the other one, and I kind of used that to cheat with a little bit. I know if that's another increment, I know it was just adding 20 more cents. Okay, now, oh man, he made a lot more in that week too. Looks like he did a lot more work. Johnny's going all the way up here in week 2. We're at the $8, past that big number. $8.20, $8.40, $8.60. So we're going to put $8.60 right there for Johnny. Now, if you did this right, you should have put $8.60 on top. Take away $1.40. $8.60. And and then take away $1.40. Okay, so how much more on there? Quick mental math if you see it. If not, I'm just going to stack and solve. Okay, zeros, 2, decimal, 7, $7.20. Okay, very awesome. All right, last two problems on this page. Okay, how much more did Richard earn in week 2 than in week 1? Very similar question compared right next to number 2 there for Johnny. Go ahead and solve the same thing. You're going to be doing the same steps. Go ahead and pause the button now, or hit the pause button so you can pause me talking, unless you like hearing me talking and ramble on. Okay, but go ahead and hit that pause button right now and solve for number 3. Okay, so we're going to take a look at Richard's right here. Richard, he looks like he got $4, $4.20, $4.40, $4.60. $4.60. Okay, and then this made life a lot easier. Because on one marker bolded bars, and they do that on a lot of graphs where it's kind of hit that friendly number. So let's go ahead. I know he's right at $10 even. Okay, so let's go ahead now. I want to do a subtraction problem. Okay, so you should have had $10 on top, taken away $4.60. Okay, a couple things you could have done on here, just noticing. Some of you might go ahead and know how much you need to add to $4.60 to make the even $10, very similar to how we count change. So we could have done that. I know I can add things to 60 to get up to 5, and add the 5 up to go up to 10. Could have done that route, but if worst comes to worst, go ahead and stack and solve. Okay, so if I stack and solve, I'm going to notice here real quick, I'm going to have to borrow quite a bit right here. So this is where the reverse subtraction comes up when I count up the money. So I got zeros. I got to go borrow because I can't take 6 away from 0. Can't borrow from there. Got to take away from there. I know that's kind of redundant on things to make that 0 or that 1 0 another 10, but that is what it is. Okay. So the next one I'm going to give 1 here. Okay. So now it becomes, sorry, totally skipped ahead on things right there. Okay. On that 10, go ahead and take that, borrow it from it, make it a 9. Then I've got 10 to take away 6 right now. I know 10 take away 6 is 4. 9 take away 4 is 5. $5.40. I also kind of knew that because 60 cents plus 40 cents would get me to the $5. $5, I need another 5 to make the $10. So could do a mental math on that portion. Okay, last one. A lot more work on this one. See why I wrote down on my bar graph how much each one was. What I set myself up for this problem. Okay, so very similar to your homework that you're going to get on Tuesday, I suggest doing the same thing. Okay, so how much more did Mr. and Mrs. Ramirez pay their children in week 2 than week 1? So it says children on here. That means you got to figure out all the kids. So Sarah, Johnny, and Richard, you've got to do all of them. So you're going to have to figure out how much more. The total of week 1 and the total of week 2. Go ahead and hit that pause button. Think about what you're going to do for that step, and then I'll go over what you should have done. Okay? So let's see if you got it. Again, I'm going to point out how much more. Hit that pause button. All right, guys. So this is what I kind of had done for mine. I noticed I did week 1 and week 2. I separated them into 2 columns right there. I'm going to stack and solve. Notice how I made sure I line up my decimals again. Okay, got to do that when I add or subtract decimals. Multiplying, dividing, I don't really care too much about it, but when I add and subtract, very important on that. Again, it doesn't matter which number is on top. I can do a couple numbers at a time when I add. So let's go ahead and add these up real quick. I know I got zeros there, 6 plus 4 plus 2, that's 10. I got 12 right there. Okay, carry that 1 over. And then I got 4, 5, 6, 7. Should have gotten $7.20 for week 1 with all the kids. And then over here, I noticed I got zeros, I got a 12, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Got my decimal, carry my 1 over, and then I got $22.20. Okay, the totals, after you get that one, I don't think you're done yet because you got to get how much more. Again, that's the subtraction problem. So let's go ahead and subtract 2220 because that's our bigger number. 2220. Take away $7.20. Okay, all my money. Okay, from week 1 to week 2. Okay, go ahead, stack and solve right there, or you can reverse and count up on there. I'm going to go ahead and stack and solve again. I just know zeros, take away 0, got a 0. 2, take away 2, 0, decimal point. Can't take on there, so I'm going to change that into a 12, get my hanging out 1 because I borrowed a 10 from it. So it's 12 take away 7 is going to be 5, and then I have 15. So the difference between the amount paid from week 1 to week 2 is $15. So it seems like the children did a lot better in that week 2 portion. Okay, so hopefully that went pretty good. You're going to have homework assignment that's very similar to this. That's kind of why I went over it. Okay, if you guys went a little faster on things, cool. Then kind of maybe skipped ahead to this part right now. Okay, the next part we want to look at is how we did on Thursday's assignment. Okay, on page 73. Page 73, or as I'm at, this is out of my other book, not my one paper I did at school. Okay, we had a couple things where we had to either multiply by 10 or divide by 10. We learned on the patterns right here, when I multiply by 10, the decimal goes to the right. One place. Okay. If I divide by 10, the decimal actually goes to the left one place. Okay, so we got to keep that in mind as we continue on with this. Okay, I think I went ahead and I did quite a bit with you guys on that portion. Okay, quick little review on things on what we did. The prediction one I did not care about. Okay, so we can just go ahead and get rid of all that because I just don't get it on there. I don't know why. But what I was kind of thinking of is I know I'm going to move my decimal to the right on all the multiplications, and my decimal is going to go to the left on all the division parts. Okay? Something to focus on. All right, I know 184 times 10 is going to be 1840, comma, 1840. Okay, sorry. I have to write it out first before I say it. I don't even know why I try. Okay. I've got a 1.84. What I'm going to do, I'm going to change my pins here because that one's getting a little sloppy on things. Okay. If I notice here real quick, I'm going to step back one step. My 18.4 right here, 184, does not have a decimal, but forever on, there's always going to be a decimal on that right. Okay. So, I did move the decimal to the right. Okay, so on 1.84, I'm multiplying by 10 again, so I'm going to the right. Okay, and I try to mark so I don't see the decimal anymore, so that means I get a good clean part. So it should be 18.4. Okay, I have 1.84. I'm dividing now, so that means this should be going this way. Okay, let's move that decimal. Now, it seems like it hopped to the left now, one place value. I'm going to go decimal 184. I'm going to lead the way with a 0. Okay, so we did a couple of these together on Thursday. Let's take a look and see how we did on the rest of them. Okay, I'm just going to kind of go down with it and see how we did. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit fast on things. And just see how you did on there. Okay, if you did not get a chance to do this, well, pause this moment right now. Take a moment, get that handled. So parents, if you see this or you're with them, go ahead and pause it on here. Let them finish out this rest of the part. They don't have to do anything with this. Okay, we're going to do this far right now. Okay, hit that pause right now if you want to work on it. Okay, if not, let's go ahead. Let's get going. Let's go ahead and go through those problems real quick. So this one's I know is multiplying. I'm going to move my decimal to the right. Right here, 6.38. I know I'm going to move my decimal to the left. 0.86, I'm going to move it to the right one spot. 0.2, dividing by 10. Dividing means I'm going to move it to the right, or I'm sorry, to the left. See, I can, okay, boom, okay. Multiplying by 10, move it to the right. Dividing by 10, there we go. And then dividing by 10 again, moving it to the left. Multiplying by 10, should be moving it to the right. Okay, I'm going to hold off on these ones right now. Okay, come over here. Your answers should have been 159. If you want to, you can put your decimal right here. Okay, doesn't truly matter, but if you do put a decimal in there, make sure you put a 0. Or you just can leave it as 159. Okay, I would like, if you put the decimal there, put a 0. Okay, makes it look better. Or just go ahead with that as your whole number. Okay. This one should have been 0.338. If you have it like that, cool. But I would like you to make sure you put your 0 right there. Okay. The next one, I'm moving it to the right, so this should be 8.6. Don't put your 0 right here. I know we have a 0 over here, but if it's all the way over here, we don't need it. It's just not. Okay. I mean, you can. There's nothing wrong with it, but just don't. Okay. We're making a dividing by 10, so we're actually making it smaller here. So moving there. So decimal 0, 2. Let's go ahead and lead the way with the 0. Okay, making it bigger, multiplying by 10, 3, 9, 8, 3. Decimal. Okay, if you did a decimal, what needs to be at the right? 0. Okay, this one should be 28.25. No zeros need to go in there. Okay. Don't put any zeros inside the sandwich of the numbers. Okay, they either go on the far right or the far left. Don't put them in between. Okay. Next one should be 8 and 734 thousandths. Okay. Multiplying should be 96 and 1/10. Now, on the hundreds, I know if I multiply by 10, I'm moving the decimal point to the right one time. How many times do you think we're going to do for 100? I'm going to give you a hint. I count like the zeros with it. Okay? Now, I've got 10 sets of 10 for the 100. That means I'm actually going to move it a whole nother set to the place value to the right. Or you can just go ahead and count the zeros. 1, 2. 2 bunny hops. So 1, 2. Okay? It should be 961 decimal point 0 or 961. Okay, you count how many zeros. So if this was 1,000, we're going to move it 3 spots. Okay, now dividing by 100, same thing. Let's go ahead and go backwards now. How many spots? 2 spots. 1, 2. Okay, lead the way with a 0. I have 0 and 8, 7, 3, 4. 8, 7, 3, 4. Okay. All right. On your answers at the bottom, what you should have done. What patterns or interesting results do you notice? You should have said something about multiplying by 10. You go to the right. Dividing by 10. You go to the left. Okay. Should have said something about that. Bigger or smaller numbers, noticing. Okay. How many zeros are in the number when you get to hundreds. Should have done something about that. Okay. Right here, circle the word sentence. When a number is multiplied by 10, the result is larger or smaller. It's being multiplied, so you're getting more groups of. So you should have had a larger number. Okay. When a number is divided by 10, you're obviously getting smaller pieces. So that one should be smaller. Okay. Rock sauce. All right. Hopefully that went okay for you guys. For you guys today, we're going to be on page 75. 75 today. I'm going to do some of it with you, and the rest will be the rest of your work for the day. Okay, so let's go ahead. Very similar to what we did on Thursday. Okay, I'm only going to do a portion of the time with it. Okay, so what's the share? I'm going to go ahead block a little bit out right here. Okay. For number 1, it says write and solve an equation to represent each of the following problems below. So I want to make sure I write an expression that goes with it and then solve. 10 friends went out for a special dinner. If each person paid $24, what was the total cost of the dinner? Okay. Very similar to what we did on Thursday, except now numbers are just a little bit bigger on things, nothing too crazy. So let's go ahead. I got 10 friends. Okay. Each person paid $24. Ooh. Each. Okay. What was the total cost of the dinner? I'm going to go ahead and total. That means I want to add up everything or multiply, see what we got. Expression, go ahead and get that one right now. What do you think it is? Hit that pause button right now. Give you a chance to write down expression on what you think it is. Okay, welcome back. I don't know if you hit the pause button or not. It's weird. Okay, so let's go ahead. My expression that I should have. Okay, it don't matter. It does not matter if it's $24 first or $10 first. Whatever keeps you organized on things. You could do it like what we did on this page with the times 10 always on the right. Or you can do it first. It truly does not matter. I'm going to go ahead and do the $24 first. Multiplying by 10 friends by 10 equals. Okay. Now, remember what we said, if we multiply by 10. But wait, where's the decimal point at on this problem? Even though I don't see it, it's money. So I could have written it like $24 like this. Okay. I could have done that. But if you wanted to go ahead and just do it like that, just remember your decimal point is always to the right of the number. Okay. So 24 times 10. Everything decimal moves to the right no matter what, no matter how you did it. You should have $240 no matter what. And then you can put your other decimal and zeros right there. Okay? Should have done that. All right. I'm going to do number 2 with you guys, and then I'm going to jump down to the next problems. I'm going to let you guys finish up, okay? So number 2 I'm going to do with you next. After dinner, the friends went out for ice cream. If each of the 10 friends paid $2.40, what was the total cost of the ice cream? Okay. Again, write down your equation, solve. Go ahead and hit that pause button right now and solve it real quick. Okay. So I went ahead. I'm at $2.40 times 10 is what you should have written out. Okay. This time they gave you the decimal. That's a freebie. So that way you don't have to remember that the decimal goes on to the right. So that should have been a freebie for you. It is multiplying by 10. So you should be moving it to the right one place. Okay. So now decimal will be right here. Okay, get rid of that decimal right there. I'm going to copy it as it is. 24.0. Now let's make it a little bit prettier. I've got $24.00. Okay, that's what we need to do. Work for you guys later on things. Okay, I've got number 3 and number 4. Okay, I'm actually going to let you guys do numbers 5 and 6 as a little review on things. Okay, it is volume, so I'm hoping to see that you guys remember how to do on volume on there. Okay, because I've hit my kind of amount that I've wanted to do with you guys. Okay. So on for tomorrow, we will need the math box if you have them, because we're going to use those little yellow pieces. We're going to be doing a couple little decimal things that we did last year. Hopefully you sound familiar. We're just going to do a little bit harder problems with it. And then get some homework out and get that rocking. Okay? Homework from last week on Wednesday. Go ahead and just hold on to it. I'll just go over it together. I'd like to answer questions personally on it. I thought I'd do the recording over it and check how you did. But we'll just go ahead and do that on Tuesday, so that way I can talk to you about it at the very beginning of class, do the lesson, give you guys your new assignment to work on. So, okay guys, that is it for today on For Math. If you guys have any questions on anything, send me a message. I'll get back to you as soon as I get back. Okay, I will see you guys later.